Hello, this is Wmpyr. For today's video, I want to talk about the Karambit. I haven't talked about the Karambit in a while, so I thought it'd be good to revisit this amazing tool. And also here, I am wearing the Karambit t-shirt, so thought it'd be appropriate. Anyway, what I have with me is the LLC Desangut, which is Professor Bram Frank's version of a Karambit. He calls it the Filipino Karambit. The Sangut is the Filipino Karambit, is what he told me. And this is the trainer drone, as you guys can see. And then I have the live blade version right here in digital camo. And you can see, whoo, there it is. Man, I can tell you honestly that this is seriously easily one of the coolest, best knives that I've ever owned over the years. This is one of my top favorites of all time. Yeah, this thing's just blows me away, just amazing. And anyway, when we're talking about karambits, the first thing I want to start with is the ring. Okay, just because. Recently, I was talking to a buddy of mine who is a martial arts instructor over there, and we've been talking about samurais, sword fighting, and all that kind of ancient historical coolness, that kind of stuff. Very, very knowledgeable guy. And we got to the subject of Miyamoto Musashi, who is a legendary sword fighter over there back in the day, and Musashi was a guy that I know that he lived by the sword. And the saying goes, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? So this is a guy that lived by the sword and he didn't die by the sword. He wrote a famous book that is still read to this day, the Book of Five Rings. And that is an amazing feat for someone that lived by the sword to be able to do that. So in other words, he transferred from the sword to basically the pen. It's actually a brush, right? But the pen. So it went from sword to pen. Yeah, that is amazing. Warrior poet in a sense, right? But my buddy told me that Musashi actually at one point, like later on, started to stop carrying his sword. And he actually invented a brass knuckle type of weapon, and that's what he carried around instead. So he downgraded over time, and that's interesting to hear, that he didn't just go immediately from sword to pen. He downgraded, that was an actual process for him. To me is interesting to think about that. And yeah, so that's where this comes in, because this right here, as you can see, is kind of similar. It's a brass knuckle type of weapon right here. Okay, you can see that, right? And I remember with Crudo knives, the snag knife, the version that I owned, this was very jagged right here. So I mean, you just a little bit of this and that, and I mean, you're gonna make a bloody mess. That thing was brutal. I really liked that, actually. It made a ton of sense to me. The thing about that, though, is that you're not able to do this. And this is what I do for the extended grip. This is my new method, which I don't know how many years back I came up with this, but that's when I said I'm no longer going to be doing this kind of stuff, where extended grip with a finger in like this. No, I was like, this is my extended grip from now on. So I modified that, right? But because even though this has jimping for grip, it's comfortable, so I can do this. If it was jagged and pointy, I wouldn't be able to do it. It would hurt, So I can do this. So this gives me the reach. And that's really important when you're talking about, like, with a karambit, because, the blade is relatively short. Not all models, but to me, a proper karambit has a short blade. Why? Because we're using this with martial arts moves. We're using this in close range. it makes more sense because any longer and it starts to get in the way. So the shorter, almost the better kind of thing. So this works well. But because it's so short, the blade length, I'm losing a lot of reach. But then if I hold it here, see, I'm easily getting more than 2 fingers worth of reach added to that. So this can help out. Now, I have nothing against karambits that have massive blades, you know, that come all the way up to here like that. In the like a standard grip like this, it's amazing. It works great. I mean, it hooks and it cuts real well. But in the reverse grip, I found that when I'm actually hitting targets, that the long length and it being in the reverse, it didn't work well for me, and it was very uncomfortable, and I found myself like almost like disarming myself and hurting my fingers, and not a good grip in the hand, like I'm about to drop it. That's with my testing over years I did on various furniture, various kind of fabric material, and also lots and lots of cardboard boxes, some ultra thick, some double, triple the thickness, and just working, training on that using my techniques and stuff. And yeah, that's my conclusion. Now, you may have a different answer. So the bottom line is try it. That's what I'm not going to convince you, and I'm not here to say this is what happened to me, therefore that's what's going to happen to you, because that's not true. So the only thing I will say is try it. Okay, so get a karambit where the blade's like that, and try it in the reverse grip, and do your knife boxing or whatever it is that you do, and see how it goes. You know, of course, you need to be super careful. I'm not gonna be encouraging stupid people doing stupid stuff, but you know, as a martial artist, someone who has been studying, and someone who, you know, has been doing this long enough to understand the safety procedures and stuff, that's what I would recommend to another martial artist. Okay, is freaking try it. Okay, so yeah, so in this case, because the blade edge is short, you know, having the option to do this is nice. I wouldn't do it in the reverse grip, no, but here in the standard grip, this is nice to be able to have this. This feels solid. Okay, and then the rest of the time, whether it's in the closed position or the open position, you know, to be able to use this as a brass knuckle type of thing. And I know when people think of brass knuckles, it's punching, right? So you want to punch hard, and people want to make big old power shots, haymakers and stuff. No. That's a great way to hurt your hand, hurt your fingers and stuff. I mean, just think of a boxing glove. In order to protect the fighter's hand, right? To protect the fighter's hand, they put hand wraps. And then on top of that, the glove, which is this big old pillowy thing, goes on top of that. I mean, think of all that you got to do to protect the hand. So with something that's hard, you know, and metallic like brass knuckles, I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? So this is, I mean, you don't have to make power shots to be very, very damaging or effective with something like this. So this is really enough to be using like so. And then, you know, this one has this, which is the force multiplier. So I feel like this is a very clever design in a sense that, because once again, if you go jagged here, that's super nice, but now you can't do this. This one allows you to do that, but it still maintains, it still has that, because you can, oh man, or in this way. I mean, this is, yeah. So yeah, I think that's a very, very clever design there. And then of course, in the reverse grip, I mean, I got the ramp right here. I mean, this just scraping up the face and stuff to get them off of me. And then I have some DNA evidence. I mean, this to me makes a lot of sense. It works. Or you could hold it this way too. You know, you could do the same thing. You could hammer Hammer with the ramp right there, boom. I mean, oh gosh, with the knuckles here, boom, boom. Yeah, and all right here, so it's not like I'm going from here. I don't have to worry about hurting my hand. I mean, it's all done here, and that's how I would be doing my other skills, my Filipino martial arts skills. Once you get into close range, anyway, I'm not doing, you know, power shots like that. It doesn't make sense. So this design to me makes a ton of sense. Here we go. And this is another, to me, another thing that's very, very critical with karambits. And I see some other amazing karambit designs, but they don't have this right here, okay, which is ample space, ample room, because, you know, it's going to shift a little. So if I'm already like this on the karambit, oh man, that's just an accident waiting to happen. So I like this so much. If I want to be even safer, yeah, look at that. I have a whole finger room there, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Keep me nice and safe away from the edge. And even right here, the ramp kind of, it fits in. And yeah, I feel like my hand's pretty secure there. It's locked in between that part, and yeah, feels good. Feels good. And with this side, and this is one of the things about his knife is I like to put my thumb right here, right where that screw is, and so like you could do this kind of motion too. So yeah, I'm free to use the ramp this way, coming inwards, but then I could use the horns this way, and I could use this curvature straight on. And once the blade is out like this is now excellent to push them away right there, right on the throat, like doing this. Like you've seen this. And this could be done here, right? This is a nice catcher. So anyway, yeah, I think I covered enough. That's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.